To follow any path other than the Tau Va is to doom us all. Only together and with courage and discipline shall we stand victorious. Fight with fire and courage, and nothing can stand against us.
Commander Shadowsun serves as a senior leader of the Fire Caste, a promising scion of war during her early years of study within the academies of the Fire Caste of Dalith. The personal tutoring of Commander Puretide honed Shas's martial skill to the point of becoming one of his most brilliant scions alongside Case and Sho. Unable to match the raw talent of Sho, a fierce rivalry began to burn brightly between the two, both seeking to earn the undisputed favor of their wise mentor. Fighting during the Battle of the Septworld of Dalith against the Imperium's Damocles Gulf Crusade, alongside Farsight, Oshacera pushed back the assaults of the Black Templars, Ultramarines, White Scars, Raven Guard, Iron Hands, Nova Marines, Scythes of the Emperor, and Subjugator Space Marine chapters, luring the Imperials into protracted warfare maneuvers whilst Farsight struck the fatal blow during the counterattack. The tactically crucial, yet militarily mundane strategy of Oshacera would be overshadowed by Oshova's audacious assault. Drawing untold Imperials into traps within the more isolated regions of the planet in order to minimize civilian casualties. Regardless of the Acolytes of Puretide's actions, their rivalry would end with the death of their master. Attempting to salvage the mind of the Tau Empire's greatest military genius, the Ethereal Caste ordered the Earth Caste to devise a means to recreate his cognitive functions via mind capture devices. Ensuring a failsafe of Puretide's teachings would live on should the artificial construct fail, his most gloried students were placed in stasis, including Oshacera. Slumbering within frozen animation for over 3 centuries, Oshacera lay dormant until the peril of the Tau Empire reached its zenith. Intending to awaken her with the dawn of the third sphere of expansion, the Ethereal Supreme Aun Va ordered Oshacera to be revived with the incursion of a gigantic orc invasion besetting the Tau Empire. Unleashing her legendary hunting capabilities, achieved by meticulously planned kill zones, the orcs fell in droves during what is revered as the Great War of Confederation. Leading stealth carders into the core of the alien encampments, the teachings of her mentor, Commander Puretide, proved invaluable during the Koresh expansion. Timing their devastating assault with an artificial eclipse of the planet, her forces set upon the orcs with jetpacks and orca dropships with deadly effect. Unable to decipher the cause of their losses within the smothering darkness, the orc leaders fell to barrages of fusion blasters and burst cannons, Oshacera personally slaying the orc warlord, allowing for the slaughter to end before the rise of the morning sun. Named Shadowsun, in honor of her maneuver by Ethereal Supreme Aun Va, the third sphere of expansion now began in earnest. Oshacera addressed the armies now under her command within the Montier Battle Dome, wherein Commander Farsight had once trained. Clad in a prototype XV-22 stealth suit, Shadowsun fired her weapons upon the statues made in the image of Oshova, the true disciple of Commander Puretide, marking a new era made in the name of the Tau Va, reinforcing the ideals which her rival had abandoned during the years of her stasis. Famed for her gloried victories against overwhelming odds whilst receiving few casualties of her own forces, her mastery of the patient hunter Kayon tactics allowed for many successful raids against Tyranid high fleets with no loss of lives. Cleansing the worlds within reach of the third sphere of expansion with incredible speed and efficiency, the heroine of the third sphere expansion drove back the forces of the Imperials, Tyranids, and Orcs. Founding 5 Tau colonies formed around the Septworld of the sphere's epicenter, Shadowsun's victory upon the Imperial hive world of Agrellan during the Battle of Mugalaf Bay allowed for great strides to be made in colonizing the Dovar sector. Confronted by the master of the hunt of the White Scars Astartes chapter, Corsaro Khan, the champion of the world of Chagoris proved a worthy opponent and first foe to stall Shadowsun's advance. Inflicting horrendous casualties upon the Firecast numbers, the White Scars drove Shadowsun into a state of rage and overconfidence, capitalizing on her uncharacteristic anger and driving the Firecast back. Close to perishing at the hands of Corsairo Khan, the retinue of Oshacera sacrificed themselves to allow for her retreat. The losses incurred driving Shadowsun to swear an oath to atone for her brazen actions. Launching the Prefectia campaign to thwart the efforts of the Imperials, Shadowsun regardless would be distracted from their attempts to retake Mugalaf Bay. The incumbent Second Agrellan campaign to retake the bay, proving disastrous for the Tau Empire. The actions of the agents of the Imperium's Officio Assassinorum, causing the death of Supreme Ethereal Aun Va and wounding of Shadowsun. Only the actions of her estranged former friend, Commander Farsight, salvaged a handful of survivors from the fray. Ignoring the standing order of her slain Supreme Ethereal to capture Oshova, once more, Shadowsun entered cryostasis before taking to the field once again. Commanding the forces of the fifth sphere of expansion within the Startide Nexus, Shadowsun would come to regret appointing her disciple, Commander Shorestrike, to command the disastrous fourth sphere of expansion. Disgusted by the expansion's rampant xenophobia and brutal tactics, Shadowsun disciplined what remained of the failed expedition fleet leaders before combating the Death Guard forces lurking within the Startide Nexus. Her curiosity to study the accounts of warp entities which had sundered the fourth sphere, causing the Ethereal Caste to relieve her of command, Shadowsun regardless led a strike team to board the Death Guard battleship, Nephilim, unearthing new revelations. Vented into the void of space during the battle, Shadowsun would be saved by what can only be described as an immaterial personification of the comprised collective adherence and belief in the principles of the greater good, the goddess Tau Va. Multi-limbed with appendages bearing similarity to Tau, human, Kroot, Nikasa, and Sharpactan physiology, the entity destroyed the disciples of the Plague God and delivered Shadowsun from harm. Resuming command of the fifth sphere of expansion against the forces of the Orc menace, Shadowsun commits her armies to defend the Chalnath expanse, the spearhead of the greater good steadfastly serving as a symbol of the Tau Empire's military might. Corsairo still knelt beside Semakar. Old Shatterhand was dying, red bubbles forming at the corners of his mouth as he tried to speak, to breathe. He'd been cut in two by the blast, and Corsairo shifted slightly, so that Semakar could see his own legs lying some distance away.
Told you so,
the old man hissed, his fist tapped weakly against Corsairo's leg.
Stupid,
he gurgled.
Easy, old man. The Khwarezmian is here. You'll be fine. You've survived worse,
Corsairo said, knowing it was a lie even as he said it.
You'll survive this.
He looked up. The sound of engines shook the ridge. Hasik and his bikers had made it through and come back. The Kamar were making a fighting withdrawal. Their ambush had been ambushed, and they knew they were beaten. They wouldn't stay gone long, however. He knew that they would have a long, hard ride ahead of them, back to their own lines. The old man gripped his wrist, and Corsairo looked down.
My tanks are dead,
Semakar said, staring up at the lightning sky.
No, so am I.
His gaze sharpened, just for a moment.
They'll make me a ghost warrior. Why?
He rasped, and there was real fear in his words. For the first time, in his final moments, old Shatterhand was frightened. The thought of being interred within the armored sarcophagus of a dreadnought caused even the staunchest warrior of the Ordu to quail. To be made one of the ghost warriors meant an eternity of sterile slaughter, never to feel the wind or taste the blood of the enemy. Bloody fingers dug into Corsairo's arm.
Don't let them!
He coughed. His eyes were wide. Blood spattered into his beard. Then, with a querulous sigh, his face went slack and his hands flopped limply to the snow. Corsaro hesitated. There was an apothecary with Garchai. He knew. Semakar would be stabilized, kept hovering between the land of blood and the land of ghosts, until such time as he could be encased in an adamantine biocoffin and join the ranks of the living dead. He was too valuable to lose to such a shallow death. Old Shatterhand was a legend, a god killer, and a master of war. The seers would oversee his return, and they would awaken him to fight anew. Unless there was nothing left to awaken. He looked up at Shadowsun, who was shouting orders to her troops. She met his eyes as he rose to his feet.
He was my commander once,
he said, softly. He knew she could hear him.
He was never my friend, for he had none. But he was my brother, and my teacher, and he did not deserve this death. And he does not deserve what will happen next.
They stared at one another as the battle swept on around them. She had faced dreadnoughts before, he knew. Even as she likely knew, after all this time studying the warriors of the Ordu, what such a fate meant to them. Then, just as he began to fear that he'd misjudged her, Shadowsun inclined her head slightly, and he stepped back. Her fusion blaster vomited plasma, and Semakar's body was enveloped in a Pyrrhic shroud. Corsaro expelled a breath and looked at her. Shadowsun felt his gaze for a moment.
We could have been great friends, Huntsman,
she said finally. Her armor wavered, and a moment later she was gone, lost to his sight. The sounds of bolter fire trickled off as the Tau retreated, leaving Rime Crag to the battered remnants of the Third Company. Corsaro looked down at the char stain that marked Semakar's passing and nodded to himself.
Yes,
he said.
I rather think we could have.